Hello, my practicum students. We are looking this week at fulfilling two of those self-assessment documents. So let's check out the guidance one first. Sorry about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over each one of the questions with you for a little bit. So hopefully that'll help give you a little bit of better of an explanation of each one of them. Okay, so first question, give an example of a situation when you were dealing with a child's challenging behavior in the classroom and you gathered input from the child's family on the behavior. So spend some time talking about what you went through with that process. How did you do it? If you are in a practicum site where it's not something that you did, then talk please to your co-op teacher and ask your co-op teacher how he or she goes about doing this so that you have a process written down and you've thought about something that you do for that. All right. Next one. Give an example of a time when you noticed patterns in a child's challenging behavior and you had to develop some individualized responses. So think about some sort of behavior that a child has. For example, maybe there's a biting or there's a hitting. When did you notice, like, when does the hitting happen? Was there a pattern with it? And how did you develop? How did you notice that? That's what we want in here. And give an example. And again, all of these should have 3 to 4 sentences under every single one of these boxes. Next one, give an example of a time when you were dealing with a child's challenging behavior. What need or desired results was the child expressing through the behavior? How do you use observation and analysis to identify the function of the child's behavior? So think about it. In other classes, and if you've had some of my classes, you've done this quite a few times where you've observed and you're collecting information. So think about it. How have you collected information to identify a challenging behavior? And then how did you use that observation to analyze what happened and what to do from there? Next one. Give an example of a challenging behavior, how you considered the child's then temperament, so his personality, how you've considered maybe his abilities, home life, and then how did you develop strategies from there? Okay, so now they're asking, taking into consideration a child's personality, maybe his abilities or not abilities, home life situation, how did you decide how to move forward in guiding a child's behavior? So this would be a different type of way of looking at behaviors. Here's a different one now. Give an example of a specific situation when you had a child with a challenging behavior and you recognized how the room environment and the child's level of social skills contributed to that. Talk about that. What were some things that you could have made different and modified in the environment? Or what are things that you could do to work on teaching those social skills? Give examples of how you, the teacher, express warmth through behaviors. Do you offer physical affection? Do you use good eye contact? How do you use the tone of your voice? Do you smile? Do you create positive interactions? Do you laugh and joke with your kids? Do you have fun? Give examples of what you do and don't just say, oh, I laugh and blah, blah, blah. Give me examples, please. I want to see it. I want to know that that's truly happening. Give examples of how you function as a secure base. Another word for the secure base is how do you offer an attachment to your children? And we're giving examples of things that you could do. Do you respond promptly to what's going on? Are you acknowledging hurt feelings and providing comfort? Give examples of what you do. Describe how you establish and convey to children clear and consistent classroom rules and expectations. How do you let kids know what is expected of them and how they should be behaving? Write up some examples there. Give examples of how you promote pro-social behavior, so good, positive behavior by modeling turn taking, and sharing. What do you do in the classroom to model or to demonstrate turn-taking experience and sharing? How do you make that happen and how do you help them teach that? So give a couple of examples with that. Give examples of how you promote, again, that pro-social, that positive social behavior using language to communicate. And do not tell me, I say to my kids all the time, use your words. If I'll choke if I see that. Obviously, if the children knew the words and had the words, they would use them. So do not tell your children, use your words. How do you teach how to communicate using language and do that in a positive way? Give an example of a situation when you assisted some of the children in resolving their conflicts. How did you help them resolve the conflict? How did you help them figure out what the problem was and how to move forward? And then lastly, describe how you use positive guidance strategies in your classroom. How are ways that you help promote positive ways to deal with things in your preschool classroom? Woohoo! Okay, that's the end of the guidance sheet. You've got a second one, and that second one is the health, safety, and nutrition one. So for that second one, let's go over those questions. Describe how you supervise children adequately. So where do you position yourself? Do you think about that? And if you don't, you should. All right. Do you position yourself in a certain place where you are always aware of where the kids are so that you can see everything that's going on? How do you monitor what's going on? Let's say you've got kids using the bathroom and you're obviously not in there. How are you being aware of all of that? Next, describe your tracking process. So when you're going from one place to another, let's say you're going outside, you're moving on to something else, you need to go to the bathroom. How are you checking to make sure you've got all of your children with you? Let's say there's a fire alarm. How are you tracking all of the kids that are there with you? Describe for me, please, your hand washing procedure. So go over all of that. Describe for me your cleaning and sanitizing procedure. And if you don't know some of these, please talk to your co-op teacher because they will be able to help you with this. So this isn't something that you already know. This is your learning experience for that. All right, that's what you're working on this week. Describe your process for being aware of the children's special health care needs, some nutritional needs, or maybe some allergies. Do you conduct daily health checks when the kids arrive? If you don't, something to think about. To talk to your co-op teacher if this isn't happening, or if you don't know about nutritional needs or allergy needs or allergies issues. Talk to your co-op teacher and find out about it, please, and then fill this out. Next one, give some examples of how you use care routines such as toileting, meals, and naps as an opportunity to build relationships, as an opportunity to build language, as an opportunity for kids to build their self-awareness, social interactions, and self-help skills. How do you use caregiving routines to build children all around? Describe what you're doing during the meal and snack times. Do you sit with the children? Do you eat with them? Are you sitting there on your phone? Or are you actually interacting and having interactions and social time with the kids? Describe your cleanup routine. How do you get the kids to clean up the classroom when they've worked on something? Describe the toileting routine. And lastly, what's the nap routine in the classroom? Talk about that. All right, those are the 2 assignments that are going to be due for next week. This is what's due for this week, though. So if you don't know the answers to some of these questions, please, please, please get in contact with your co-op teacher and find out, learn. That's what these questions are for. If you don't know the answers, find out what the answers are so that you know what you're going to be doing when you do have your own classroom. All right, ta-ta for now, friends. We'll talk later.